Hey, my name is Matt Kelly, and in this video, I'm going to share with you 5 beautiful sounding guitar licks in the key of E major. I chose to do these in this key because I wanted to incorporate a lot of open strings to make these licks sound big and ambient. Now, some of these licks are pedal steel inspired, so I will show you some new techniques that will help you learn these, and you can also apply these new techniques to your everyday playing just to add some flair to your chops. All tabs will be available on my Patreon page for free, so you can download that at any time. So let's check out lick number 1. Alright, so we're going to start with our middle finger on the 11th fret of the G string, and we're going to slide to the 13th fret. So, okay, and then we're going to pluck the open E and B string. So now we're going to do a half step bend from the 13th fret to the 14th fret. Okay, and we're going to hold that pretty much the entire lick. So after we do that little bend, we want to grab our pinky and put it on the 14th fret of the high E string, and we're going to pluck the E and B string right after that bend. So I'll play it from the start. So we're still going to hold that bend. So we're going to put our first finger on the 12th fret of the B string, and we're going to hammer on with our ring finger to the 14th fret of the B string. So after that hammer-on lick, we're going to pluck the open E string and then the B string, but our pointer finger is still going to be on that 12th fret. And then we're going to release that bend and bring it back down. All right, now let's check out lick number 2. All right, so let's break this one down into a few parts. Here is the first part we're going to take a look at. So all that is grab your pointer finger on the 2nd fret of the B string, hammer on to the 4th fret of the B string, and then we're going to pick the open high E string, and we're going to pluck the B string with our ring finger still there on the 4th fret. Now, the next part of that is our middle finger on the 4th fret of the G string. Our ring finger is still staying there on the 4th fret of the B string, and our pointer finger is now going to go to the 2nd fret of the high E string. So how we play that is the G string first on the 4th fret, B string of the 4th fret, high E string on the 2nd fret, and back to the 4th fret of the B string. So all together. So once we pluck that note on the 4th fret of the B string, which is the last note in that little section, we're actually going to slide up to the next part. So I want you to keep this fingering and slide it all the way up to the 9th fret. So your middle and ring finger are both on the 9th fret of the G and B string, and your pointer finger is on the high E string of the 7th fret. So the slide goes like this. So when you do the slide, G string the 9th fret, high E string on the 7th fret, and you're going to pluck the 9th fret on the B string, okay? So we're going to follow this picking pattern now from the end of this lick. So it's going to go G string, B string, high E string, back to the B, and then we're going to go to a different shape and do that same thing until the very end. So the next shape we're going to take a look at is actually the D major chord, but it's going to be all the way up here on the 9th fret. Okay, so you're going to have your pointer finger on the 9th fret of the G string, your ring finger on the 10th fret of the B string, and your middle finger on the 9th fret of the high E string. And we're going to do that same picking pattern, G, B, high E, and back to B. So the next shape is actually a D7 fingering. So we're going to put our middle finger on the 11th fret of the G string, our pointer finger on the 10th fret of the B string, and our ring finger on the 11th fret of the high E string. And we do that same picking pattern, G, B, E, B. and you can hear it waiting to be resolved. So we're going to put our pointer finger on the 9th fret of the G string, and our pinky is going to cover the B and E string on the 12th fret. And we're going to strum all 3 strings. Okay, so all together. Lick number 3. So we're going to start with just the 8th fret of the G string. And then we're going to go into the actual part of the song. So 8th fret, and then we go into the... So we're going to start with our ring finger on the 9th fret of the G string. And we're going to put our pointer finger on the 7th fret of the high E string. And we're going to pluck G, B, and high E, and then back to the B string. So it's actually a similar picking pattern to the one before. Okay, so the next shape is our middle finger on the 8th fret of the G string, our pointer finger on the 7th fret of the B string, and our pinky now on the 9th fret of the high E string in that same picking pattern. So we have... And once we pick that 7th fret of the B string, we're actually going to slide down to our pointer finger on the 5th fret of the B string and our middle finger on the 6th fret of the G string. And then we're going to pluck the G and then B string. And that's where we're going to do some harmonics with our pinky and pointer finger. So once you pluck the G and B string, your pinky is right there to do the harmonic on the 7th fret. So then just take your pointer finger off the B string, and then you're going to harmonic with your pointer finger on the 5th fret of the high E string. So we're going to do the same thing we just did, but we're only going to change the second fingering that we did in this little pattern. So here was the first one, and this was the second one. So our middle finger was on the 8th fret of the G string, our pointer finger was on the 7th fret of the B string, and our pinky was on the 9th fret of the high E string. But this time we're going to stretch all the way up to the 11th fret of the high E string and place your pinky there instead. Okay, so it'll sound like this. So there's actually one more change. It's just our middle finger on the 6th fret of the G string, and we're not going to place our fingers anywhere else on the B or E string. So we're going to pluck that G. So it's going to be an open B string, and then we're going to do the same harmonic with the 7th and 5th fret. So all together. All right, lick number 4. Alright, so to play this lick, we're going to start on the 16th fret of the G string and slide up to the 18th fret. And then we're going to pluck the 17th fret with our pointer finger, and then pluck back to the 18th fret on the G string. So we have slide from 16 to 18, pointer finger on 17 on the B, back to the G on the 18. So after that pluck on the 18th on the G, we're going to do a full bend on the 19th fret on the B string. And while we hold that bend, we're going to pluck the high E string on the 19th and 16th frets. And then we're going to release that bend after we hit the 16th fret on the high E string. So it'll sound like this. So in between the 19th and 16th fret, you're going to pluck the B string that's being bent. So you have the bend, 19 on the high E string, pluck that B string while it's bending, then the 16th fret on the high E string while you're still holding that bend, pluck the B string while you're doing the bend, and release. And then the pointer finger is going to go on the 17th fret on the B string. Okay, so all together. Okay, so now we're going to do a little tiny arpeggio. So our ring finger on the 18th fret of the G string, our middle finger on the 17th fret of the B string, and then our pointer finger on the 16th fret on the high E string. We're going to just do a little sweep. So after that little sweep, we're going to put our pinky finger on the 19th fret on the high E string again. So you can also use your ring finger if you want. Then you're going to put our middle finger on the 17th fret of the B string, and then our pointer on the 16th fret of the G string. So it kind of goes down and then back up, but in reverse. So we have the sweep. So after we do the 16th fret on the G string, we're going to take our ring finger on the 19th fret of the B string and slide down to the 16th fret on the same string. And our middle finger is going to pluck the same fret, but on the G strings. So we're going to do the slide. Okay. Then we're going to slide from the 16th fret on the B string to the 14th fret. And then we're going to pluck the same 16th fret on the G string. So then after that, we're going to slide from the 14th fret to the 12th fret on the B string. Pluck the 14th fret of the G string. And we're going to resolve it with our middle finger on the 13th fret of the G string. And our pointer finger is going to cover the B and high E string. And we're going to play all those strings together. So all together. All right, and finally, lick number 5. All right, so this lick is a little tricky, but I'm going to show you all the things you're going to have to do. Okay, so let's check it out. So we're going to start with the guitar volume all the way down, and we're going to harmonic the B and high E string. So we're going to do that at the same time. So we're going to go, and then we're going to bring that volume up. So it's kind of like a volume swell. All right, so now the trickier part is we're going to grab our left hand and we're going to that B string above the nut, and we're going to bend that string as far down as we can until you hear that sound. So after that part, we're actually going to try this other technique. We're going to use our thumb to pick the string and our pointer finger to harmonic the fret we want. Okay, so here it is. So we're going to put our pointer finger on the top of the 7th fret, okay, and we're going to do a harmonic. So you're not going to want to put pressure down on it. And we're going to pick this string with our thumb, okay, and we're going to bend down below the nut again. So after we pluck the 7th fret of the B string, we're going to pluck the high E string on the 7th fret as well, okay? And then after we pluck the 7th fret of the high E string, and we're going to bend below the nut on the B string to get that sound from the harmonic we previously plucked. Okay, so now this part, we're actually going to hold down below the nut, and we're going to do the same thing but on the 5th fret of the B string this time. So we're going to pluck with our thumb and use our pointer finger on the 5th fret as the harmonic. And then you're going to release the bend below the nut, and you're going to do the same thing on the 5th fret of the high E string to finish it off. Okay, so here's the whole thing in total. So there you have it, 5 beautiful sounding guitar licks that you can incorporate into your playing. Now don't forget to check out my Patreon page where I have the tabs for free. I'll link that down in the description below. Let me know in the comments which lick was your favorite, and make sure to subscribe to my channel so you can see more videos like this one. So thanks for watching, keep on playing, and I'll see you guys next week.